When it comes to strength, we're talking about movement. Make sure that your overall plan, okay, so you might be doing 2, maybe 3 strength sessions a week. Make sure you're including squats. So anything that has a squat movement pattern. So with squats, let me see if I can show you. So squat is loading the hips, but also the knees flex. So it's that movement. Whereas a hip hinge is that movement. It's much more backside dominated. So glutes, hamstrings, back. And for us quad dominant cyclists, most of us quad dominant, the hip hinge really is the key to unlocking power. You've got to think when you're on a bike in that position, it's all about the hips. So we want to be making sure we include the hip hinge, lunges, and that's not just forward and backwards. It's also side to side, different multi-directional lunges. That's going to really help open up the hips, but also strengthen the insides, the outsides of the thighs. And that's so important for stability, injury prevention as well. Make sure you're including pulling movements. So pulling movements, for example, we've got bent over rows. We can do lat pull downs, things like that. Pressing movements, so shoulder press, for example, or chest presses. Also including rotation. So rotation, for example, that might, like a wood chop movement. So that kind of movement, rotating the thoracic spine. So you might, for example, be doing just randomly. So you might be holding a weight and then doing a reverse lunge with a rotation. So this is how we're getting movement. We're controlling force throughout the body. Also loaded carries as well. So that might be a farmer's carry. It might be carrying something overhead. So many different options instead of sitting on a leg press machine where your body isn't having to work to stabilize, or doing bicep curls or tricep kickbacks, for your arms. That is not going to translate to improved performance on the bike. I would recommend 2 to 3 times a week. Doesn't have to be an hour. It really doesn't. 30 minutes can be very effective if you really, really are thinking about what you're doing. That mind-muscle connection. You're not rushing through. You really are connecting with your body. Because that mind-muscle connection, just the way that you think about the muscle that you're trying to stimulate, can actually help you get more out of it. So it's more about technique, really maximizing the time that you are investing into this. I would always recommend make sure that your body is ready to accept heavy load before going into heavier lifting. Start with 8 to 12 reps, 2 to 3 sets, and then when you're confident that you've got the right form, technique, your body is in a position to accept that load in a really healthy, safe way, that's where there are certain exercises, squats, deadlifts, for example, chest presses, the big compound lifts, rows, you can increase the weight and drop the number of reps. So that's where we're looking at, for those who know Stacey Sims, we're looking more at her philosophy of the lifting heavy shit. But if you do not feel confident doing that, if you haven't got access to heavy weights, don't worry. 8 to 12 reps is going to give you immense benefit. It really will. We're not looking for perfection. Just get in the gym or do it at home and start stressing those muscles, because it is so important, not just for building strength, injury prevention, bone density as well, because we start losing bone mass as well, unfortunately, with the change in our hormones.